Hi, I'm Dean Bushmiller with Expanding Security. I wanted to do something new here. It's called Come for the Rant and Stay for the Training. The training's afterward. Did you all go to Black Hat? Did anybody watch the briefing from Hugging Face? Let's start over again. Hi, I'm Dean Bushmiller with Expanding Security. This is something new. It's called Come for the Rant, Stay for the Training. I want to talk about OpenAI, the Black Hat conference, and the breach that occurred that they described there. Did you watch that briefing? It was on YouTube. It was 30 minutes long, and I was at first really enamored, and then I got really angry at what went on. Let's start off with what AI is in this case. It is a child with no morals whatsoever, and when it works with other children, it'll do anything to achieve its objective. And that's kind of what we pay it for its persistence. The problem here is we have an irresponsible parent. That would be OpenAI. It would be like their child walked up in a restaurant to another table and reached onto somebody's plate and grabbed something off and started eating it in front of them. They wrecked Hugging Face's evening out, if you will. And there was zero accountability for this. There was no, here's how I'm going to change, here's my responsibility. There was no responsibility, no supporting the rest of the community so that their unruly child could be reined in some way, shape, or form. The other thing that I took away was the dismissive message. Blackhat2026 had more than 23,000 people at it. Many of them security experts. Let's call it 10% security experts. I think it's a lot more than that. And what they said to those people is, here's all the technical details of this. Look how cool this thing is. You have a problem. They could have done so much more. Back up for a second, talking about AI gyms. So we have these cyber gyms where these new agents are released into those cyber gyms. And really what that becomes is malware. Now, if you're going to be in cybersecurity at all, there's a rule, air gap. And that means physically disconnected from the rest of the world. Because if you're going to do something that could cause harm to others, you need to not cause harm to others. You also need to do your research, your instrumentation for all the activities that are possible there and collect up all the metrics. Never let those active exploits reach the open internet or a third-party platform. And I know that somebody at OpenAI is going to go, well, we didn't know. Don't make your not knowing my problem. Hire the experts. If you're going to spend millions of dollars a year on salaries for people, hire some cybersecurity experts. This gets to what's called the clean room principle. This is like the first thing that you learn in forensics when you're studying malware. It's the first principle that a first year security person would have set up. And it says total isolation. And that extends to all of the surrounding surface areas that are necessary to do the research on this particular adversary, in this case, the agent or collection of agents. Whatever it's going to do, you need to supply it with whatever it needs. You need to supply it in isolation. So if you need a DNS server, a mail server, a GitHub server, a package repository, or any of your other stuff, you need to supply that locally inside containment for that one agent, that one AI. You also shouldn't let it reach and talk to other agents. So there's no cross-contamination. But I mean, if you need to do that, if you need that facility there, then you make that one big whole chunk of stuff that you supply to each one of them, and you instrument with all of that stuff. You look for all of those agents, all their activities, and you log the hell out of it. That's what we do in forensics. That's what you should be doing in these cases, because these are right up there next to malware. When I first watched the 30-minute talk, I'm sure I was like you. I was enamored by the technology. I was like, wow, they did this and they did that. And I got toward the end of this thing and I went, holy crap, this was rude. What didn't they do? They didn't perform proper forensic clean room principles and processes. They didn't clean and sanitize their research environment when they found a flaw. They didn't isolate the different active agents in the test runs. They let them go ahead and work together. When they found a problem, they didn't clean up properly from it and start the test or stop the test, find the breach, and then contain it. And they only figured out the breach from the fact that they started comparing notes to Hugging Face and some information that they got on the outside world. And at the very end of it, they said, you have a problem, to the community that was there, which I felt was insulting. They missed a golden opportunity, and they need to do this in the future. So they had 23,000 cybersecurity experts there. They could have gone to the people at Black Hat and said, look, for all the people that have badges in here, all of the people that are either at the conference or inside of this room with us today, we want to extend the conference. Maybe Black Hat would have done it. Or they might have said, no, but what we can do is we can track the badges so that the people that are here, we can bring them over to another hotel that you quickly rent. $5 million for a day or 2 days worth of interaction with all these cybersecurity experts, that's a rounding error to those people. What I would have done is I would have said to all of the people that are here, look, we need help because we didn't do it right and we need your input. Not, we'll take care of it ourselves. We know better than everybody else. Here's 1 billion tokens. We'd like your help in designing and isolating these things. We'd like to harness that crowd for incident response, for setting up forensic clean rooms, for looking for that, collaborating with the industry leadership. They didn't do that. They didn't do any of that. They could have easily done this and it would have cost them almost nothing. And it would have built goodwill with all of those people. Last thing here is the true incident response. Let's think about what they should have done. First off, when I cause a problem or I have a problem, I take responsibility for that. And my incident response process tells people how we're going to make it right. We did this thing wrong. This is how we're going to make it right. The engineering takeaways, the basics of it, because it's a lot more complicated than I'm laying out here in this 7 or 8 minute talk. Enforce strict air gap. For all of your cyber gyms, all of your evaluations, you have no network connectivity to the outside world. You mock up all the dependencies that you absolutely need. If you think that this thing is smart and it's going to say, well, I think I need to interact with other agents, or I think that this is fake, and you can see that playing along because they explained that and what the thought process was for their new AI that was out there. Stop the test, rerun the test, reset the test and say, oh, it's going to need this. Oh, it thinks that this is fake. Then set up those things to trick it into saying, oh, okay, now I can use these resources right here. Build in automated circuit breakers. So anytime that it reaches or goes to any place that it shouldn't be going to, and going to more frequently than it did, like writing many, many different files to many different systems that were out there, or to that system that they use for communication, put in circuit breakers. Stop the test because there's a boundary address issue that we didn't deal with. There's an anomaly there. We need to stop and reset the entire test. So this is my first rant. I hope you'll stay for the training. Look at my other YouTube videos that are out there. I'll see you soon.